Small package, rolls up Big E. Is that enough here? Did he get him? No. What? Did he get him? Wait a minute.
Have you ever wondered what happens if a referee ever counts to 3 in a match when they weren't supposed to? Well, WWE's attitude to this has changed over the years, as at one point the referee had to count to 3 when and only it was the planned finish of the match. However, in recent years, there's been an extended focus on the referee calling the matches as if the match was real, meaning that if the wrestler doesn't get their shoulder up by the time the referee counts to 3, they're encouraged to call for the bell. Additionally, there have been a few occasions where the referee has accidentally counted to 3 and everyone in the match, including the ref, simply pretended it wasn't a 3 count. Also, doing a 3 count when it wasn't supposed to has had dire consequences for a referee. But which times were they?
Andrade, the count. Oh, yeah. Whoa. The official blew the call. So it looks like Andrade.
Well, join us now as Wrestlelamia looks at 10 accidental 3 counts in WWE history. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists.
Oh, I think he was going for a landslide, and it's Truth. Truth with the cover. What? Well, wait. What? Wait a minute. He got Truth. Truth the champion. Truth didn't even realize he won.
Number 10, Survivor Series 1996. Now, the free-for-all, which took place prior to the 96 Survivor Series pay-per-view, was supposed to be the start of a substantial push for JBL, who was going under the name of Justin Hawk Bradshaw at the time. Bradshaw was actually supposed to be a surviving member of the winning team in the match, but unfortunately a botched 3 count led him to being eliminated 8 minutes into the match by Jesse James, aka the Road Dogg.
Roll up. I think Summer came up.
And taken to Facebook, JBL offered some insight into what really happened during the match. He stated, "My first Survivor Series, my team was to go over, and it was to be my first big push. It was one of the first times refs used earpieces, or at least different earpieces. So I do a false finish and Tim White counts me out. I had kicked out on 2, but Tim was listening to someone in his ear and wasn't paying attention. He looked up and said, 'Oh my god kid, I'm so sorry.' But then I had to pantomime he was sending me out of the ring. I got to the back and I was chewed out. I couldn't stooge Tim, so I just took it. Later they realized Tim made a mistake and told me that they were sorry. It was my pal Gerald Briscoe that had chewed me out as he ran Gorilla back then. My push was killed, and pretty much so was Justin Hawk Bradshaw." Well, maybe it was for the better, even if we did get the much failed New Blackjacks tag team. It didn't exactly hurt him later on. Number 9, Emma accidentally wins a match in NXT. Prior to NXT TakeOver Brooklyn, WWE would tape a fatal 4-way between Emma, Dana Brooke, Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch. Things were going well in the match before Emma hit Becky with her signature maneuver, the Emma Sandwich. What a name. Emma went for a cover and managed to secure the 1-2-3. This finish came out of nowhere and appeared as if the referee had accidentally counted the 3. It was later reported online that Emma wasn't supposed to win the match, which explains the confusion on everyone's face following Emma securing the victory. You can even hear the referee inform Emma, "Be happy you won." Number 8, Mickie James accidentally wins the women's title. Live events have the benefit of not being recorded for television, meaning that if something goes wrong, it's usually only the people in attendance that would see what had unfolded. But at a live event in 2007, a WWE referee accidentally counted a 3, resulting in a huge title change. In a match between Melina, Victoria and Mickie James for the women's title, the referee accidentally counted to 3 after a pin attempt from Mickie, which actually resulted in Mickie winning the women's title. Interestingly, as this was a live event, WWE could have pretended it never happened and it was just a mistake. However, they went along with it and officially acknowledged the title change. Later in the show, WWE would book a match between Mickie and Melina, where Melina would win the title back. But nevertheless, seeing a title change result from an error from a referee is extremely rare. Discussing the incident on the Ring the Bella podcast, Mickie would reveal,
"Oh, what happened in Paris? I don't know if I should speak because I'm like, there was 4 parts of this match, including the referee. 5 if we include the Steamboat. It was obviously a triple threat match, and Melina was the champion, and Lisa was out there. I made the cover, and the 3 count happened. It was like the championship not heard around the world. It is in the history books because I demanded it."
Number 7, Teddy Long simply doesn't want to hear it. The Attitude Era crowd were brutal, meaning that any botches on the part of wrestlers or referees, the crowd would let them have it. A great example of this took place at the 1999 Royal Rumble pay-per-view, as in a match between X-Pac and Gangrel for the European Championship. Gangrel would roll through a crossbody attempt from X-Pac, and referee Teddy Long actually accidentally counted to 3. This wasn't the planned finish of the match, so Teddy and the two superstars simply pretended it never happened. Although the crowd didn't let them forget this, and they erupted with the "You effed up" chant.
Well, he didn't, obviously, and X-Pac's still the champ. And now he tries to battle back.
You can actually see Teddy take his earpiece out after he messed up, as he was clearly being yelled at by Vince McMahon, and Teddy clearly simply didn't want to hear it. Number 6, Men on a Mission win the tag titles. Jacques and Pierre, collectively known as the Quebecers, were an extremely successful tag team in the WWE during the mid-90s. They would win the tag titles a total of 3 times, however one of those reigns was never planned, and they would be forced to win them after an accidental title change at a live event in '94. The match would be the Quebecers facing off against Mabel and Mo, who were known as Men on a Mission. During the match, Mabel fell on Pierre for a pin attempt, and Pierre couldn't kick out because of how heavy Mabel was. The referee was forced to count to 3 and award the win and the titles to Men on a Mission. This title change was never planned, and it forced the WWE to book a rematch between the two teams 2 days later, where the Quebecers would regain the titles they never should have lost. Number 5, CM Punk wins with his top rope elbow drop. Now, CM Punk's tribute elbow drop from the Macho Man would never put anyone down for the 1, 2, 3, but that was until January of 2012. CM Punk would face Jack Swagger in a match on Raw that was designed to build towards Punk's title defense against Dolph Ziggler at the Royal Rumble. But instead of leaving fans wanting to see Punk versus Ziggler, it left fans scratching their heads. Halfway through the match, Punk went for his top rope elbow drop, and it somehow secured the victory as the referee counted to 3. Punk was obviously furious, and you could actually see him arguing with the referee after the match in relation to what had just occurred. Number 4, Edge wins the IC title. When Edge won his first singles title in the summer of '99, there were rumors at the time that Edge simply got the win because the live event he won the match at took place in Canada. However, it was believed that Edge won the Intercontinental Championship from Jeff Jarrett thanks to the referee accidentally counting to 3. This is supported by the fact that Edge claims that he was absolutely stunned when he was given the championship by the referee, implying that Edge had no idea it was going to happen. Additionally, Edge would drop the championship the next night back to Jarrett, making it almost certain the referee messed up. Number 3, Daniel Bryan wins. In 2011, a 6-man tag took place on SmackDown between Daniel Bryan, Ezekiel Jackson, and Sin Cara, taking on the team of Cody Rhodes, Ted DiBiase Jr., and Wade Barrett. However, the finish of the match was a complete botch thanks to the referee accidentally counting to 3, and the mistake was so severe that Cody Rhodes has even publicly called it the worst match he's ever had. In the match, Bryan would go for a corner dropkick on DiBiase and would actually get the 1, 2, 3 as the referee counted the pin. This wasn't a planned finish. All 6 men looked absolutely stunned and confused as they had no idea what had actually happened. The referee even had to order Bryan's teammates in the ring to celebrate to make it look as legitimate as possible. It was truly a disaster. Number 2, Kevin Owens wins the US title. Now, a mistake at 2017's Battleground pay-per-view resulted in Kevin Owens winning the US title. In a match between Owens and AJ Styles, AJ applied the crossface to Owens. Owens would roll through and AJ's shoulders were down, which forced the referee to count to 3. This wasn't the planned finish to the match, and the finish was actually supposed to be AJ retaining. This forced WWE to change their plans for the US title. They would book Owens to defend the title against AJ and a returning Chris Jericho on the next edition of SmackDown, and AJ would win the match and once again become US champion. And number 1, a referee gets fired. A match between The Miz and John Morrison facing off against Matt Hardy and Mark Henry in the summer of 2008 would become infamous for one main reason. That reason was that the referee accidentally counted to 3 when it wasn't the planned finish to the match. Vince McMahon was so irate with the mistake that he fired the referee on the spot. But what exactly happened? Well, Hardy went for a side effect and it secured the victory as the referee Wes Adams counted to 3, although Morrison actually kicked out. It was believed that Miz was supposed to break up the pin attempt, and when Miz missed his cue, Adams got confused and decided to count to 3. A referee being fired for a 3 count is extremely rare, so to see this occur in 2008 came as a massive surprise to everyone. There were many who believed it wasn't Adams' fault and he shouldn't have been fired for the incident. However, it was ultimately Vince's call, who decided that Adams' error was simply too big to ignore. But there you have it, folks, 10 accidental 3 counts in WWE. Be sure to leave your comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.